right, guys. What we will talk about now is nothing is confirmed yet. We don't know what's going on with the season, but there is a very strong. There have been multiple reports that maybe when return to play does happen because of border stuff and all that,
Yeah.
government stuff, health regulations, all this type of nonsense. Not nonsense, but you know what I mean. That we could have an all Canadian division come next season.
Yeah, I think Bill Foley said it. Owner of the Golden Knights.
See,
I'm pretty excited.
It's going to destroy hockey Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's bad enough when teams play, but like,
we'll have one episode on just tweets.
Probably.
Steve Simmons says something. I run my head through a wall. Damian Cox says something. There's another hole in the wall.
Yeah. I'm like, Alec, you suddenly put up the poster. Why is that?
Because there's like 5
Over the
holes
holes.
in the wall.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam, go.
It's just, I just want an outline. Like, I want to know what's the plan. Are you still going to travel? Because it's weird. Numbers are not going down, people. And really, like, at one point, I haven't seen the numbers for today, but over the last few weeks, there was a period where Ontario's numbers were higher than they were when we had our first initial lockdown. Mm-hmm. And of course, now deaths are low, but that is going to catch up.
And testing is quadruple.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a fact.
Well, okay.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm not making a point. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like Quebec's in like red zone. There's check marks to stop unnecessary traveling.
I have the number. I don't know if you want it for today. 658. And that's from Christine Elliott, the Deputy Minister of Health.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be like, if this does happen, because I'm still kind of worried about return to play here. And trust me, of course, I wanted to be back, right? And an all Canadian division would be really fun. Like, let's not even lie here. It's going to be so much fun. I know not everyone is excited for it.
Everyone should absolutely be excited for it.
See, and this is weird because obviously, if we aren't allowed to have fans in the arena, are we going to have a season?
No.
And that's the big thing. That's the question here. I don't mean to put a still hard to talk. Sorry.
No,
I don't want to put a dampener on this, but I don't see us having a season anymore. I've kind of talked myself into now. I can't see it.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from. But it's fun, and I'm bringing this up just because I feel like we had these same discussions back in March. We said, there's no way they're gonna come back with the season. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. And they did, and I guess under extremely special circumstances. The thing, okay, so if you look at it economically and in terms of growing the game in this country, because let's be real, I think I threw out the numbers last episode or 2 episodes ago. The NHL is not trending up. Trending upwards in a very positive direction. Of course, it's kind of trending upwards, but not at the rate of other things. To have an all Canadian division, I think would be by far the best thing that the league could do, because it creates so much more interest north of the border. You think anyone cares when Toronto played? Okay, pre-2016, you think anyone ever cared when Toronto played Arizona?
No.
Do you think anyone cares when Toronto plays Florida? No. Do you think people care when Toronto play Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton? Absolutely.
Christ.
Yes, the car outside agrees.
Absolutely. I think it'd be one of the best things economically for the league to have an all Canadian division because it creates more interest in the country.
This is a random thing, but it's just because we've been talking about the NHL games for so long.
Yeah.
And okay, I might show my age here, but when I was playing the older games, I kind of went back to them thinking about my childhood. I remember that the biggest thing, and also, this is also attributes to like stories from my parents where they used to go to Leaf games in the 90s where it was always about Montreal versus Toronto. And then like the Battle of Ontario was kind of like a new concept to them in a way. And I think that if you have the ability to kind of foster both of those at the same time, that'd be great. I think that would really renew a lot of like, the history behind it, Montreal and Toronto, but also in a way like make sure that, you're not pushing away the Ottawa Toronto rivalry, because like when I look back on things where, for example, 2004, because I don't know, this offseason has reminded me of 2004.
Okay.
Because that was the year the Leafs like literally had like 6 Hall of Famers on their team. It was like Joe Nieuwendyk, Matt Sundin, Ron Francis, Brian Leach. They were all on the Leaf because they kept getting these guys to try to like improve the core. And I think that's really reminded me. But like that was the same time where like Ottawa was kind of really trending up, and people were kind of looking at that Battle of Ontario. But then with like Montreal, they were still kind of like that team. Like they had Saku Koivu, they had Jose Theodore, they had all these guys. So I think about those times. I think about where we could maybe see more of an improvement there with an all Canadian division, and it's something where I think that it's gonna have more of an appeal to other people, especially when like they have that regional part. But again, it's whatever is best in terms of safety.
See, and that's where I question. Now, I was wrong about the bubble. I'll take that on the chin. But they're not going to do a bubble again.
No.
It's too much money. And
yeah.
I mean, look at the NFL aren't doing it right. The MLB learned from their mistakes and fixed it for the playoffs. By the way, suck at Astros. Damn cheaters. You better have a damn system ready. Because honestly, if you're just traveling from arena to arena, and I don't think that's what they're going to do, then you need to not bother because you're not helping. Like the Joker would be doing more to flatten the curve when he's going to see Harvey.
Was that you? Did you post that on Twitter or Instagram?
On Twitter.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, if you ever watched The Dark Knight, the scene when the Joker goes to talk to Harvey Dent, he's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And then when he leaves, he sanitizes his hands. So the Joker is doing it.
Yeah, and apparently he couldn't recognize the Joker from the top half of his face.
Well, he does take it off afterwards.
Yeah. I guess to speak on that point, just because I haven't yet, there is a very small chance that the NHL starts the 2020-2021 season with no fans in the stands. Or like Bettman said, he goes, well, we could start the season with no fans and then go to some fans and then more fans depending on the situation. I find that hard to believe. They recouped some losses by finishing their TV deal for the year, by having the round robin games and all those games, plus playoffs, which were extremely down. I don't know if you saw the numbers. The Stanley Cup final numbers were not as were historically down. The reason for that, probably because there's a billion other sports going on at the same time, is my guess. It doesn't work economically. And, Eugene Melnick said, I have this plan to have 6,000 people in my stadium, which is probably the same amount of people he'd have either way. Without COVID, he'd still have 6,000 people only in his stadium. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it economically doesn't make sense. I don't think the owners are going to be down to say, yeah, we're going to pay all these guys, and the only thing we get is TV revenue, mm-hmm. which is minute. Like the ticket sales are worth more than 50% of hockey related revenue each year.
It's a lot of money.
They don't have the luxury of other leagues who have ginormous TV deals. They don't. They just don't have that luxury.
Mm-hmm.
And the same goes for the AHL, the CHL, the ECHL. If anything, those leagues are in a worse situation. I have no idea how any CHL league is running right now.
The Q is getting hammered with COVID. They are. I don't know what they're doing.